what's good, Commanders fans, and happy Sunday. Now, this probably will actually be a quick video. There's not much going on. Just some injury updates and going over the injury report. And I do want to talk about Brandon Coleman. There was a video that I put up, how long ago did I put it up? On 3 days ago, on October 8th. Today's the 12th, so that was like Thursday, Wednesday, something like that. And a lot of people have been talking about Brandon Coleman. What should we do with him? There's no reports or rumors right now that he's on the trade block or anything like that. But I just wanted to discuss the situation a little bit more and go over a little bit of numbers of Chris Paul and Brandon Coleman at this point. And then just looking at the depth chart, like if we did trade him, like do we really have anybody, like say knock on wood, Chris Paul does go down. Like do we have the depth to sustain what we got going on or have other guys step up? So that's a question mark there too. They did work out Julian Good-Jones, but let's stay focused on the injury report here to start off. All right, so Noah Brown, the game is on right now, so I'm watching the Jets and Broncos, so I'm going to be looking at the TV a little bit while talking to you guys. But Noah Brown, of course, was ruled out. No surprise. Terry McLauin ruled out. Kind of not a surprise because he was a DNP on Wednesday. Went on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. He was a DNP. Now Noah Brown was running routes. So I am actually a little surprised. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought he was gonna play after I saw him running some of the routes. I thought he looked pretty good. Now Noah Brown, I mean, we just have to move forward without him. Honestly, I think you just have to move forward with Luke McCaffrey as wide receiver number 3. Even when Terry comes back, Luke McCaffrey is wide receiver number 3. Jalen Lane is wide receiver number 4. Hopefully Robbie Chosen is wide receiver number 5. And then big play Tay or Ja'Cory Brooks is wide receiver 6. I do not want them to have Chris Moore active. He should be inactive. He should be just a practice squad player. He really shouldn't be a part of the roster at all, but I guess he plays well in practice. But even when I saw him in training camp, he was dropping passes in practice. So it's not like he's just balling out there either. Now, I guess he's just so good at special teams. He must be a special teams ace or a gunner or whatever. But he just should not be on the team. After that touchdown drop, it was just enough. I know he had the 34-yard catch against the Giants. He had a catch against the Raiders as well for a first down. But after that drop, man, where, it's a good thing we put the Chargers away anyway. But it was 17-10, I believe. It should have instead of 20-10, it should have been 24-10 with that touchdown catch that Chris Moore should have had. It was right on the money from Jaden Daniels, right in the breadbasket. Chris Moore had hands like a snake and just dropped it. I just don't know how he dropped it, but of course it's Chris Moore. Sam Cosmi, doubtful. It makes sense. I mean, they're trying to rev him up. This is his second week back from an ACL injury, recovering or being activated off the PUP list. So it makes sense to wait until the Cowboys game next week. So, I mean, it's a short week, but we'll see what happens. I think they will activate him and have him ready for the Cowboys. So even that might be something with the depth for Brandon Coleman that could make Brandon Coleman expendable before the trade deadline. Chris Rodriguez, DNP, questionable. We need him. I know Bill is RB1, but it would be nice to have C-Rod. I'm not going to say he sways whether we win or lose, but it would be nice to have C-Rod. We have the number 1 rushing attack in the NFL. We have the most yards. We have the most yards per carry in the NFL. We have the most rushing touchdowns in the NFL as well. There's just a lot of things that we have going on with our rushing attack. And the Bears have the worst rush defense in the NFL, so it's just a great formula for us on Monday night. I can't wait. Deebo is questionable. He did not participate in practice. He was limited on Friday and DNP on Thursday. And then last week he had a couple of DNPs as well. Him and Mikey Sanders still, and a lot of people were concerned, myself included. But he ended up playing, so I think he will play. Tom Pelissero said that he's good to go, so that's good news. He is our wide receiver number 1 right now. And even when Terry gets back, Terry's our wide receiver 1. We all know that. But so far, even in both games when they play together, Deebo has been wide receiver 1 so far with everybody on the field. It's only been 5 games, so you don't want to overreact. John Bates, full participant. He's good to go. Jaden Daniels, knee, full participant. He's good to go. The Bears, Grady Jarrett, out. Their defensive lineman, he hasn't been playing that great anyway this year. I don't know if he played or not, but their D-line has been awful. Montez Sweat included. He only has 1 sack. Dorrance Armstrong has just as many sacks that the Bears have as a team. Dorrance has 5 sacks. The Bears have 5 sacks as a team. Colston Loveland, questionable. Their tight end. Carol Santos, questionable. Their kicker. Austin Booker, questionable. Travis Homer, questionable. TJ Edwards is going to play. Kyler Gordon's going to play. Jonah Jackson, Kyle Monangai and Darnell Wright, their starting tackle, is going to play. Now they're going to be starting a rookie undrafted tackle. His name's I forgot the guy's name, man. I got to look up his name. Let's get a quick word from Sleeper and look at some of the picks or the picks that I have for tomorrow night, and then we'll get back to the video. Shout out to today's sponsor, Sleeper. What's good, y'all? Shout out to today's sponsor, Sleeper, the #1 daily fantasy sports app where you can pick more or less on player props like receiving yards, rushing yards, passing yards, anytime touchdowns, scores, defensive props, sacks, more or less. So many things you can pick on the Sleeper app. I'm giving you guys a promo code. Promo code is Oliver for 100% deposit match up to $100 for first-time users. Use the link down below in the description to get that great deal using promo code Oliver. Also, Sleeper has a good deal right now with a $20 free entry for first-time users as well. So make sure you guys take advantage of that. Lastly, let's make a pick for this week. So we're going to take the free square Bo Nix over a half a passing yards, and also we're going to take Bill over 65.5 rushing yards against the worst rushing defense in the NFL against the Chicago Bears. So make sure you guys sign up using Sleeper with promo code Oliver. Terms and conditions apply. Use the link down below in the description box to sign up and take advantage of these deals. Shout out to Sleeper. Let's get back to the video. Peace. Let me look at the Bears depth chart. I forgot the guy's name, but he's been pretty awful this year too. He hasn't played much. They had to bench their other tackle. So his name is Theo Benedict. He's going to be starting the left tackle. He's an undrafted free agent. And Braxton Jones, they benched him for Theo Benedict. Theo Benedict, if you look at his PFF numbers, this should be food. Dorrance, Von Miller, Jacob Martin, everybody should eat against Theo Benedict. They should be feasting on this guy, man. Feasting on him. One-on-one matchups, all kinds of stuff. They should be feasting on Theo Benedict. Theo Benedict has a 43.3 PFF grade, pass blocking grade, 49.2 run block grade, and a 44.2 overall grade. He's ranked 92nd out of 112 tackles. That's how bad he's been so far this year. So they got to eat. They got to eat. You know, they got to pull the belt out on Theo Benedict and get to Caleb Williams and have him running around like a chicken with his head cut off that he likes to do all the time. So that's really it for the injury report. Terry being out, it is a loss, but it's still a winnable game. We just need to run the football, and Jaden will be sharp. He can use his legs too. Once we get that up-tempo, no huddle going, Bill gets going, it could be a long day. I think we could take their manhood. I think we could take their manhood. Both lines, the D-line and our offensive line, should be able to dominate. Laramie Tunsil should lock down Montez Sweat. They are giving up 2 yards before contact per rush. So they're not even getting contact on the running backs. The running backs are getting 2 yards before they get touched. That's how bad the Bears' run defense is. And when we start running the ball, revving the engine up, RPOs, design runs, play action with Jaden out of the shotgun, no huddle, up tempo, we just start pushing on the gas. And then they're going to get a 12-man on the field because they're just running around with their chicken's head off because we're just running the football, and just dominating them. It could get real ugly for them. I do think it's going to be a close game, but if you can't stop our run game, it could get real ugly. And you're going to have Zach Ertz running wide open down the middle of the field, Deebo running wide open down the middle of the field, Luke McCaffrey now downfield getting open. So it could get real ugly. And then Jaden using his legs too because he was looking fast out there running behind Bill. So it could get real ugly for the Bears if they cannot stop our run game, which I don't think they will be able to. And Cliff will get in his bag as well. Let's see here. Anything else? So Terry McLaurin has not had any setbacks working through rehab. McLaurin does have a chance to return versus the Cowboys. So that's good news there. Deebo sounds like he's going to be good to go versus the Bears per Tom Pelissero. All right, so let's quickly get to Brandon Coleman because I always say it's going to be a quick video. It ends up being 10 minutes. 10 minutes is not too bad anyway. But let's talk about Brandon Coleman. So I'm going to read some of the comments that you guys put under my video about Brandon Coleman. So Rick Revis 4104, he says Coleman has valuable backup left tackle ability. I probably hang on to that. So that makes sense. Ty make the world a better place 4247 says keep Coleman, he is young, no need to give up on him. X27 off says I don't get the Coleman trade rumors. 1 year ago we used a third on him and he proved to be a decent player in his rookie year. Why then trade him away for a late day 3 pick, such a discount? The depth is more valuable than that pick. So my answer to the X27 off is that now you traded for Laramie Tunsil. And now you can recoup some of the draft capital that you gave up for him. So you're not going to get the 3rd round pick or 2nd round pick or whatever you gave up for Brandon Coleman. But let's say you do get a 5th. I don't even think you would get a 5th. I think they're going to try. Other teams may try to do a John Ridgeway trade where you attach a 7th-round pick to Brandon Coleman, then you get a 6th or something like that. Maybe you could get a 6th straight up. But I'm just looking at the depth chart now. When you get Sam Cosmi back, since Chris Paul has emerged so much, let's look at Chris Paul's PFF numbers so far. Chris Paul has a 79.9 PFF pass blocking grade. He's ranked 5th out of 106 guards in the NFL. That's how good he's been. Run block grade, 63. 38th out of 106 guards in the NFL. You look at Brandon Coleman, 31.7, 88th out of 106 guards in the NFL. Now, I thought it was a little too quick to bench him because they gave Josh Connolly more leeway and more of a cushion to make mistakes. I thought they were going to give Brandon Coleman a little bit more cushion because he went up against the Packers D-line with Micah Parsons, Rashawn Gary, and a lot of guys that they had that just beat up. Nobody had a good game against the Packers. Like, let's just keep it real. So I was surprised that they benched him, but whatever he's been doing in practice, they really may just have not liked. I think Cliff said that Brandon had a better week of practice or something like that. It is odd that he's inactive. And then they brought in Julian Good-Jones for a workout, the guard that we had here before. So is that a sign that, hey, they're ready to move on? We'll just bring in Julian Good-Jones. Has Brandon Coleman been that bad? You know, OG Bobby Johnson must feel some type of way what he sees in practice, or just the whole coaching staff in general, that they just feel so comfortable having him in street clothes. Like, this is going to be another game again where he's going to be in street clothes. And then when Sam Cosmi comes back, you have another guard on the roster. So Andrew Wiley, he can play left guard a little bit. He's been playing right guard, but Andrew Wiley's going to go to the bench. So, I mean, that kind of puts Brandon Coleman a little bit more on the end of the depth chart, especially if they bring in Julian Good-Jones, who they've had here before. I think Trent Scott can play a little bit of guard too. He plays tackle primarily, but you still have Nick Allegretti, who's not great either. But yeah, I mean, I just, if teams are calling for Brandon Coleman, man, I wouldn't hang up. That's all I'm going to say. I wouldn't hang up. I wouldn't deny it. I would entertain some of it and see what they're willing to give up. If they're willing to give up a 5th-round pick, because they were willing to trade Noah I. And I thought Noah I was very valuable too with his depth and having him as a backup. You know, John Jones is out. Will Harris hurt. So I'm so happy that they didn't trade Noah I, because you look at how the cornerback depth was so bad last year with Emmanuel Forbes, Ben St. Jude's, Mike Davis. So it could be similar in that sense, that you don't want to give up on a 3rd-round pick so early that did have a solid year at tackle last year. It's not like he was terrible. He had a good year. We went to the NFC Championship. A lot of that was because of Jaden, but Brandon Coleman held it down. Like, he did a good job against Trey Hendrickson. He did a good job against Myles Garrett. He did a good job against the Giants last year with Brian Burns and Kayvon Thibodeau. Brandon Coleman had some really good games last year. So I get it. I get it from X27 off. I get what he's saying. I get what you're saying too. I get what you're saying. But if you can get a 5th-round pick, I think that's something that you should entertain. Now, Coupe Footer I70 said, it's wonderful to see all the positive comments about Brandon Coleman. He was great last year at left tackle. Even as a rookie who had never played there, he was much better than Leno ever played, Charles Leno. I think we're the only team with 3 left tackles available. Until we know why Coleman is sitting, no rational person can consider him anything but our future. The only thing I heard was Quinn suggesting he wasn't fully recovered. Part of this may just be how well the backups are performing, and the coaches don't want to shake that up. They also have limited roster spaces and are correctly using 3 running backs instead of just 2. As for this week, I do expect Williams to show up eager to ball out, though that alone shouldn't be enough. So, man, I mean, those are good points too, but if you get, and then too much upset, we may get more for Brandon Coleman right before the trade deadline with an injury-riddled team, maybe giving a 5th. And that's kind of what I think too. I kind of think that too. But would I rather keep him? Sure. But at the same time, I understand, like, if you can get a 5th for him, it's something to definitely entertain. Something to entertain, because Allegretti will be there. Sam Cosmi will be back. Andrew Wiley will be a backup guard. I think Trent Scott, like I said, can play guard a little bit too. It's not ideal, but, you know, I mean, there's no really rush to trade him too, if you think about it that way too. There's really no big rush to trade him. And then you sign Julian Good-Jones to the active roster and see what you have there. So, but like I said, I don't know how bad he's been in practice and then what they saw, but whatever they see, they just don't like it at all, to the point where they're just not dressing him. So, like I said, my final answer is if a team's willing to give up a 5th and you recoup a little bit what you gave up for Tunzel and a little bit for Marshawn Lattimore, what you gave up in the past year and a half or year, then I think you consider it. So, all right, you guys, as always, I do like Brandon Coleman. I don't think he's terrible, though. But all right, you guys let me know what you guys think. As always, enjoy this Sunday without any Commanders football and get ready for tomorrow. Hello, Commanders. Peace.